Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your betting game by hitting that subscribe button and ensure you never miss out on our daily content. Want exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join our Patreon. Links are waiting for you in the comment section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. As we head into this matchup between the Central Michigan Chippewas and the George Mason Patriots, it's clear that these two teams are trending in different directions. The Chippewas have had their moments offensively, averaging 69.3 points per game while shooting 46.3% from a floor, but they've struggled with their three-point shooting, just 27.5%, and free throws, 64.3%. Junior guard Kyler Vanderjagt, who leads the team with 13.3 points per game, will need to step up and carry the offensive load, especially in a game where they'll be tested by a potent George Mason team. Defensively, Central Michigan has allowed 71 points per game, which won't be enough to slow down George Mason's high-scoring offense. The Patriots have been firing on all cylinders this season, averaging 77.3 points per game and shooting 44.6% from the field. Their senior guard Darius Maddox is on fire, averaging 19.0 points per game, and should have a big impact here. On top of that, the Patriots are shooting an impressive 76.2% from the free throw line, giving them an edge in close games. Defensively, George Mason has been locking down opponents, allowing just 65.3 points per game. Their rebounding has also been strong, with a 43.7 to 38.7 advantage over Central Michigan, which will play a big role in controlling the tempo. Looking at how both teams have fared against common opponents like Stony Brook and Marquette, the Patriots have had the edge, scoring an average of 78.5 points per game, while the Chippewas have averaged 67.0. In terms of this game, it's clear that George Mason has the better overall talent, with Maddox leading the charge and their defense proving to be stout. Central Michigan will likely struggle to keep pace, especially with their shooting inconsistencies. Prediction: George Mason covers the 13.5-point spread, and the total goes over 138.5 points. Both teams are likely to score in the 70s, but the Patriots' depth and offensive firepower will give them the edge. Evansville versus Middle Tennessee State. As we break down the upcoming matchup between the Evansville Purple Aces and the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, it's clear that these teams are coming into the game with different levels of momentum and roster compositions. Evansville, coming off a tough loss to North Texas, 80-63, enters the season with a fresh roster, relying heavily on newcomers to make an impact. Gabriel Pizzato has been a standout, averaging 23 points per game and shooting over 62% from the field, but the Aces' shooting struggles from beyond the arc, 30.8%, and the charity stripe, 64.3%, have hindered them early. Add in a significant rebounding deficit against North Texas, losing by 17 boards, and it's clear that Evansville is still trying to find its rhythm. They'll need to rely on the veteran leadership of guards like Taze Comer and Cam Hafner to keep the offense flowing, but with a young squad, they're facing an uphill battle in this one. On the other side, Middle Tennessee State has been impressive so far, with a 2-0 record and a pair of dominant victories, including a 79-56 win at Abilene Christian. The Blue Raiders have been clicking offensively, averaging 88 points per game and shooting 52.2% from the field. Justin Porter has been lights out, averaging 22 points per game and shooting 53.8% from three, while Essam Mostafa has been a force in the paint, averaging 14 points and 8.5 rebounds per game. Middle Tennessee has been solid defensively as well, holding opponents to just 38.8% shooting and averaging over 12 steals per game. The return of guard Cameron Weston has added even more firepower to an already potent lineup. Middle Tennessee is a veteran team, and their experience, starting 4 seniors and 1 junior, will give them an edge against an Evansville squad that is still building chemistry. With a strong presence in the paint and a dynamic perimeter attack, the Blue Raiders are poised to cover the 8-point spread here. Prediction: lay the 8 with Middle Tennessee. Evansville's offensive struggles, especially against stronger defenses like Middle Tennessee's, will be too much to overcome. The Blue Raiders have the talent to win comfortably, and the Aces will find it difficult to keep pace. As for the total, both teams have shown they can score, but with Evansville slowing the tempo and Middle Tennessee facing a step up in competition, it's tough to see this one hitting over the total of 142. Look for a more methodical game with fewer possessions than what both teams have seen so far. Prediction: take the under 142 total points. Both teams will face tougher defenses, and with slower paces expected, the over will be hard to hit in this one. As we break down this matchup between the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns and the Houston Cougars, it's clear that Houston is the stronger team on paper, but Louisiana has the pieces to keep this one closer than expected. Louisiana enters this game coming off a win against UT Dallas after a tough 4-point loss to Kent State. The Ragin' Cajuns have been led by newcomers Corin Davis, 24 points, and Mustafa El Mutawakil, 16 points, but they're still struggling with consistency, especially from beyond the arc, just 31.7%, and at the free throw line, 24-33. Their defense has been decent, forcing turnovers and limiting opponent shooting, but their rebounding, at just 33.5 boards per game, is a serious concern. Houston, ranked 4th in the country, has a potent offense averaging 83 points per game. They are shooting an impressive 50.4% from the field and 51.5% from three. However, their recent loss to Auburn showed that they can be vulnerable when their offense is slowed down, as they shot just 41.4% from the field and struggled to maintain their halftime lead. They do, however, have a stifling defense, holding opponents to 57 points per game, and their depth in scoring with 5 players averaging double digits is a major asset. Despite their talent, Houston plays at one of the slowest paces in the country, which will limit the scoring potential. Louisiana, with a slightly faster tempo, could keep the game closer by pushing the pace and trying to exploit Houston's weaknesses. The Cougars' tendency to slow things down makes the 24-point spread too high. While Houston is likely to bounce back after the Auburn loss, Louisiana has the defensive tools to make this a tighter contest than expected. Prediction: Louisiana plus 24 points. Houston is certainly the more talented team, but Louisiana's defense and pace should allow them to cover the spread. Expect a slower-paced game with the Ragin' Cajuns doing enough to stay within the large number. As for the total, both teams rely heavily on their defenses, and Houston's methodical offensive style only adds to the likelihood a low-scoring game. The under has hit in 2 of the last 3 meetings between these teams, and with both teams playing at slower paces, it's hard to see them getting anywhere near 140 points. Prediction: under 140 points. Both teams will grind it out, and the combination of Houston's slow offense and Louisiana's defense should keep this game from reaching the over.